doesn't lose. Look at
Hello and greetings, everybody. Welcome to Cast. We have in the studio audience today Stanley right there. Stanley, look at the camera.
Hello.
And say hello. We also have with us again our good friend in Houston, Texas. And let me go to his camera right here. Anthony Palmino. There we
What's
go.
up, boys?
So we are all here together in the office. Now, I know normally we're in the cigar lounge, right, Stan?
Yes, sir.
But today we had a closing this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a treat for you guys. Since we are not in the cigar lounge, you thought that we're not going to have a cigar of the week. Well, you were deceived.
We always have to have a cigar of the week.
So we have here, we just kind of fire them up in here.
Yeah.
But we have our humidor here. And we have our look. Let me show you our cigar of the week today. Here's my little humidifier thing. It tells me we're at 63. That's pretty good. We have a temperature of 70 degrees in there. That's good. And let's see here. Today, the cigar of the week is the Series D number 6 Partagas. This is Partagas Habana. This one is from Cuba, and I'm just going to do a quick close-up there.
A nice zoom in right there.
Right there. I don't think I see very clearly, but this is the Series D Partagas. There you go. Beautiful. What a beautiful cigar. Now, what I like about this particular cigar, besides the fact that it tastes like a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
Really?
is that this is about a 30-minute smoke. So the reason why I have a lot of these in my office humidor is because when you're at work, you're busy, you can't sit there for 2 hours, and have a cigar in our garden, our rooftop garden. But this one, you can pull this out upstairs with your coffee, half hour, enjoy a delicious Cuban cigar, which is contraband here in America.
Really? What the heck?
Well, Cuban cigars are banned in America.
Really?
So we have this hid in our office there. So that's your cigar of the week. You thought we were not going to have it, but we do. So there you go.
That's why it's so stubby. That's why it only lasts for like 30 minutes, right?
Yeah. So that's the cigar of the week today. And we're glad to have Anthony here in the studio, of course, Stanley here with us, and let's give him a hand for showing up today, everybody.
Let's go.
So we got the camera set up a little bit differently. Usually you see me and Stan at the same time, but I'm on this side of the desk. Stanley's on that side of the desk. This is the office here. And Anthony is in Dallas. And we're going to be a lot of exciting things coming soon. We'll be filming a little bit this afternoon for for our recruiting video, because we're recruiting new loan officers, and we're looking to build out the Florida office, the Dallas office, and then of course we still want to bring in some lucky contenders for the Houston office here too. And so we'll be doing some filming on that this afternoon with Stanley and so forth. But there was an interesting blog that came out this week from Anthony in our Dallas office about the market. And I was hoping, Anthony, you could kind of share a little bit about what inspired you to write this and what's going on right now.
Sure. Since we've had some investors that are looking to invest in multifamily in the Dallas market, I just started doing some research. It's funny too, and Joe, that I worked in the software industry for multifamily, and the funny thing is, I was so tense on trying to learn the software that although I'm a data person, I I wasn't soaking the data in as much as I was trying to learn all the clicks and all the bells and whistles of the software. But over the last for years, I've been just diving into the data a lot more. And I just saw some interesting things because the market, at least here in Dallas, for new construction, has slowed down. I don't know how much you guys read, how much you dove into the blog, but there was a significant slowdown in new construction, and that should be stabilizing in 2025 after years of just growth. I mean, I moved here in, what was it, 2005? So 20 years ago. And where I live on my main street outside my development, it used to be all horses and cows. Now it's Olive Gardens and malls and all these higher end restaurants, and the Dallas market just has been phenomenal. But from a construction standpoint, because of the cost of materials and interest rates, and the construction for new family development has slowed down. A lot of the stuff that people are seeing in this market, or investors are seeing, or stuff that was in the pipeline over the last couple of years. But so what investors are doing now, they're kind of shifting their strategy over the last year or two, actually maybe 3 years, from building new units as to going after existing units and just doing basically rehab, just a value add, taking over existing units, sprucing it up, and trying to get renters that way instead of going after new construction. But I don't know if there was anything in the blog that you guys wanted to touch upon, or anything that you had any thoughts on.
Well, I just thought it was interesting when you're saying some of the rent growth projections, that rents have really been stabilizing after recent declines. And it's interesting because you came out of that rental industry prior to being with Casa Group. And so you really had a kind of behind the scenes look at how the market was going, with the increase in rental rates. And so now we're seeing from your blog that rents are stabilizing after declines. So was there a time, over the last 4 years or 4 to 6 years when you were actually in the industry, where rents were going up, and then they started to decline? Because you mentioned that there's been recent declines. It's stabilizing after recent declines.
Yeah, I think COVID, actually, you saw rents started going up because there was a lot less options out there. When home sales were going down, right? And if you're moving into a new market and there's not as much new inventory, so the landlords and the owners are able to kind of increase the rents a little bit because it's all based upon supply and demand, right? So there's not a lingering oversupply right now. So which means that's why rents are kind of stabilizing. So they're looking for like a 3% rent growth by the end of 2025 from the information that I saw. That's what I saw. Plus, I've been looking at rents. My son's coming back to this area from college. He's graduating law school in a couple of months, and he's looking.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, thank you. He's looking for places closer to Dallas. And that's another reason why, Joey, not just because of our clients are looking to invest. I've been kind of looking at rents, really for my son as well. And that's what kind of helped me kind of dig into some of these numbers.
Are rents compared, I guess comparatively speaking, are rents better now? Are they more affordable now? Or because it was getting to the point where it was actually the same price to own a home than it was to rent.
Right. It's stabilized over the last year or so. They're still looking for some rent growth, but I guess once the economy starts growing a little bit, it'll be a little bit easier. But it's more affordable right now. It's definitely more affordable. In areas like Fort Worth or Arlington, it's definitely more affordable out there. You still might see, rents kind of high in Frisco and Allen and McKinney, only because there's a high demand. right?
Yeah, well,
So
I saw you mention that there's a lot of Fortune 500 companies there
right. But what
in
happens
Dallas.
is, right. So because of the demand goes up and there's less inventory, the price will go up. So when you're looking at, Frisco, Allen, McKinney, because of the school districts, because of what you just mentioned, the job opportunities,
Yep. Jobs.
you're gonna see rents in those areas, kind of grow, be a little bit higher.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
from an investor's, good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was renting, in Houston. My rent in downtown area of Sugarland was 2,100 a month, and that was for a small 1,200 square foot townhome. Now we live in I think 2,400 or 2,200, house, and our mortgage is just $600 more. And it's a house, and it's 2 floors, and it's 1,000 square feet more. So for me, it's a lot better of a bang for a buck to actually, have a mortgage than it is to actually rent. But I really wonder how these rental prices are affecting some of the younger people, that are maybe coming out of college, just getting their first time job. And Stan, I believe you're still living at home, right?
Yes, I still live at
So
home.
you're living at home, and when do you think about moving out? And are you concerned about rental prices too?
For me,
Or are you planning to be a millionaire before you?
yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like,
you're a cast of good, we're expecting
right.
to buy.
Right. So here's the thing. For me, I expect to make as much money as possible before I move out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The goal that I have, I'm not really worried about the rental prices, but I would like to have the ability to know what it's like to live by myself. Right. But my plan is to actually purchase a home, be able to purchase a home before I move out. But what I've noticed is that a lot of students were like rental prices wise back in COVID, they all moved to Austin because it's a lot cheaper, and there's student life there, and it's just better for younger
cheaper
people.
Food, student food,
Exactly.
stuff,
And I had a friend, he moved over to Austin. It was the worst apartment you can ever think of, but it was cheap. That's the thing, right? Over here, Sugarland, the apartments here are nicer, cleaner, but why they don't stay here? It's more expensive. And so rental prices during COVID times were a lot tough, but nowadays, ever since the stabilization, a lot of people are coming back in, like easing in. A lot of students are living over here now, but there are still a lot of students still living with their parents. It's just cheaper overall.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering. You said that you're not planning to rent at all. You're planning to just.
No, I'm not planning to.
The next move is to own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that come from working in the real estate industry? Does that come from your family culture? Does it come from Vietnamese culture? I'm very curious to that.
Oh,
because most Americans, at least everyone, matter of fact, everyone I grew up with, I think nobody owns a home except for one of my friend's cousin. They owned a home early on, and they got married at like 18. They were dating when they were like 12 with their like middle school sweetheart. Like they're a little different, right?
Right.
But everyone I grew up with, I even think to this day they're all renters.
Really?
Right? So I have a totally different mindset than who I grew up with because of some different experiences I had, in my late teens, and it kind of changed the trajectory of my life. But I'm wondering for you, is that very common? Where do you get this concept from that you're going to just move straight into a house? Is it because you're working in real estate now and you see the advantages, or is that your family, or is that even the Asian culture?
So it's actually a little bit of both. So the Asian culture, we love to just live in one house, right? It's just more advantageous for us. And my mom cooks food. I cook food sometimes. They buy groceries. I don't have as much expenses, right? But I know once I move out, I will have 10 times more expenses than I do right now. So it's an advantage, it gives me an advantage, right? Save some money for when, like on not even a rainy day, but for a down payment on a home, save money for college, school. But by the time I get out of college is when I want to search for homes. That's my goal. And it's always been my goal.
Is that your culture? Is that like like the principles in your family? Is that a Vietnamese thing? Is that since now about real estate? Like I'm wondering, because like Christina, our former admin, she got her own house.
Yeah, she did.
She didn't pay for it. Her parents bought it for her,
Mhm.
you know. But she's a college student. She now owns her own house.
Mhm.
She never really even had to really contemplate ever renting,
Mhm.
you know, in her whole life.
Mhm.
Is that a common Vietnamese thing?
No, I don't think so. I think that's just depending on the situation. For me, the reason why I want to save up is because I want to be able to earn, like, feel like I earned it, right?
Mhm.
I don't want to just move out. And it's a blessing. I know there are some people, it's a blessing. There's nothing wrong if your parents are paying for your rent. There's nothing wrong if your parents are purchasing a home for you. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, how I see it, I want to be able to, it's like a sense of responsibility, right?
Mhm.
So it's really my mindset on why I want to purchase a house before 27 years old, right? That's
Wow.
my goal.
That's great.
And then I want to do it with my brother. And then the plan is for me is to really make it into an investment home,
That's
right?
right. Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to purchase the home, but we're technically not going to really live in it.
Yeah, just can't
Perfect.
say that on camera.
A
A lot of people do that, but
like
yeah.
Well,
Airbnb.
not if you buy an investment home, right? You could buy an investment
Yeah,
home.
investment
rent it
home.
out.
Oh, investment home.
Hey,
Okay,
I said
we
I
can
said
say
it from
that.
the start. Yeah,
We could disclose
Yeah.
that. Okay.
it's gonna be yeah. I said that from the start. It was gonna be an
We
investment
could
home.
disclose that. That's all right.
Yeah. But that's a plan. But of course, anything can happen. And if I were to really purchase an apartment or something, I like those high rise apartments.
Mhm.
But it's way above my, it's way
Well, you
above me
got to
right
think
now.
about those apartments. You got to think about those stupid HOA fees.
Yes,
There's one guy. There's a condo for sale right now. A guy emailed me about. He's like, I want to buy it, and I can even show it on the screen. He said he wants to buy it at $65,000 for the condo. $65,000
$65,000 condo
for the condo in the Galleria.
in the Galleria.
But here's the catch: the HOA fee is $1,200 a month.
What?
Per month.
Wow.
You hear that, Anthony?
Listen, my mother had the same thing in Florida.
Well, but let me show you the amenities.
Yeah.
This is going to blow your mind.
Is it even worth it?
When you see what this $1,200 a month gets you, oh my God. Let me share this with you guys here. You're going to be blown away. And you're gonna really feel if is it worth it or not. Let me see if I could share this.
Yeah, open
here.
system settings and
do I go here? I want to share this. What do I do here? I don't need to do audio at all.
Okay, deny.
So just deny.
Oh, it looks like you have to.
I'm just gonna go here and I'm gonna share. Can you guys see that screen?
Not yet. Now I can.
Okay,
Wonderful.
there we go.
Yeah, let me show you the pool. The pool's gonna really get you. Here's the beautiful garden you get for $1,200 a month. Just lovely gardens. I mean, I just here's the beautiful entranceway you get for $1,200 a month.
Wow,
it's like the Taj Mahal.
Oh my!
There has to be like 70 people living in that apartment to make it worth your. Oh, look at the size of the.
That's the pool.
That's Al Pacino's tub in Scarface. Fly, pelican, fly.
What is that?
Yeah, Al Pacino.
That was in the movie. That was in the movie with him smoking a cigar.
$1,200 a month for HOA for this.
Yeah, this is what you get for $1,200 a month.
Hey, but Stanley, that's why you have to keep that goal, just because of that reason. You know?
Yes, this is the reason I don't. Yes, I don't want this. I want a house. And you see, compared to that,
you could possibly own that and charge the HOA fees at $1,200.
You can own that and charge $1,200 a month just in HOA fees
for
that luxury swamp.
I mean,
I gotta tell you, bro. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, it's in the Galleria area, right?
Yeah.
That most likely is why. That's just crazy to me, though. Because if you look at that, how long has that been on the market for?
It's been on the market for a long time.
Exactly. Yeah. So, go ahead, Anthony.
I was gonna say, man, I wish I can go back to when I was your age, but I lived with my grandmother from the ages of. I started college at 18. From the ages of 18 and let's say 23. And I had basically my own apartment in the basement, had my own entrance. I had a bar. I had a pool table.
Wow.
I mean, it was. I mean, it was the best bachelor pad you can possibly imagine. I
Sounds
paid
amazing.
no rent. The only thing I paid was my phone bill. I had my own phone line because we had hard lines
Hmm.
back then.
Hmm.
But I used to get paid on a Thursday night,
Hmm.
and my money was gone by Sunday night. Like I literally had to ask my grandmother for $5 so I can get over the George Washington Bridge to get to
Two
work in
dollars.
Manhattan.
What do you need $1 for?
Yeah. So when I think back of all the money I could have saved at that point,
Hmm.
so your goal should be, yeah, man, get investment properties.
Yeah, investment properties.
You get an investment property, you pull out that equity
Hmm.
in a year or two, you get another investment property. You start young,
Hmm.
man.
Yeah,
You'll do
that's the
very,
plan.
very well.
That is what I
So
actually.
take advantage of staying with your parents right now.
I'm taking advantage. So there, I had a. I knew it's just an acquaintance, really. He's young, around my age. He actually bought his first investment property at the age of 22. At the age of 22, he bought his first investment property. And you know, my goal is just as that, right?
Which
So,
means that when Joey takes you to the cigar bar, do not
uh
let him or Tom convince you into getting a Placencia or what was that other one of
One of
those
those
other ones?
30 $38
The
cigars.
Liga number 9.
The Liga
That was
number 9 for $22.
$15,000 to smoke. I'm
oh
sorry,
my
Stanley.
gosh.
Go ahead, Stanley. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
No
That's
problem.
hilarious.
And yeah.
I was just thinking about that last night too, because I was with the owner there. We were talking about some deals
Mhm.
on a major development that he's doing, and he's like, "Well, Stanley has to come by. I got this opportunity for Stanley to come by," and I thought, I know Stanley's not coming by because Stanley's thinking like, "Okay, these cigars are to $14 a
70
piece.
grand.
70, that'll be 70,000 at the end of the year. It's my down payment." Don't tell me you didn't think about that.
No, I thought about the
Okay,
prices.
see,
Good for you.
Oh man. So, oh sorry, where was I? So speaking of on that, about the rents. I know we already talked a little bit about the rents, but I remember a little story.
And if you want to look at Anthony in the eyes, this is.
I'll try to look at the
his
camera.
eyes are right there.
Yeah. So I remember about a little bit about the rent. This is a little story. There was this one tenant. This was in New York. I think this was before 2008. He was able to get a rent that never expired and it can never change. It was written in contract that this rent will never change. Because during that time, before 2008, I think a lot of things were. I think rent was a lot cheaper. Was it, Joseph? Before
2008.
way before 2008, actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
of
way
course.
cheaper rents. Yeah.
I
So
mean, when I was growing up, my rent I
Mhm.
think was like $675 a month or something.
Yeah,
like that
so-
in a 2-bedroom apartment.
So there's a tenant that was able to. He stayed there, right? He got that deal. He signed the contract. It will never change. The tenant or even a new tenant like ownership can never change it.
Where's this at?
I don't know where. It's in New
Because
York.
I know they had. Oh, because I know they
It's in
had
New
those
York.
laws in California too.
Yeah,
That if you got your rent at like $800,
it stays
they
that
can
way.
never change it.
Not even a new owner can change it.
Yeah.
So he was able to achieve a rate, a monthly payment of less than $400 a month for rent, and he stayed there for. Even now, he stayed there. He works at a UPS. He's a UPS delivery guy, right?
I would pay him $800 a month just to live there.
and he makes
$1,500 a month just to live there. But go ahead.
And he makes 6 figures, right? A year. You know, UPS drivers, they make 6 figures a year. And he has a killer just a killer monthly payment for his rent in New York, and it's nice too. It's not a small apartment, but for less than $500, it was a bang up deal. And I wish something like that can come by, but I don't know how rents are right now in New York. I think they're in the thousands, right?
Before I met my
Thousands.
wife, in 90. I got married in 95. I think I met my wife in 93.
Hmm.
So a year before that, I was looking at moving to Greenwich Village in New York. It's just a kind of cool place in New York. And I was looking at a 600 square foot loft and it was $3,800 in 1993 for
How much was it?
3,600 for 600 square feet
3,600
for a loft,
what?
not even a bedroom. Yeah,
What year was this?
92.
92.
But
Are you
Greenwich
kidding me?
Village is kind of,
Yeah, I've been to Greenwich Village.
yeah.
That matter of fact, Greenwich Village is where you sent me for pizza.
Yeah, John's Brick Oven Pizza, buddy.
Yeah, John's Brick Oven Pizza's in Greenwich
Yeah.
Village. Because I remember when I was walking around there looking for the restaurant, I saw like Greenwich Village, the Greenwich Village everywhere. And there's like historical buildings there, Italian markets.
They're just really pretty down there.
Oh my God. And that pizza was unbelievable. Yeah. But do they have those laws, do you know of, in New York, like they did in San Francisco, where if you get it, the rent at a certain amount, it can't be raised?
I know there's rent control. Like I know my grandmother lived in an apartment building for 30, 40 years. I think it was they can only raise the rent by a certain amount every month. I don't know, I don't know. Because usually people that own those types of buildings, I mean, if they can get more money, think about it, Joe. Let's say you own an apartment building that had 200 apartments and you can only have a certain amount. I would rather sell it. And so somebody else that they knock it down, they rebuild it, and they can charge whatever they want. So to be quite honest with you, I'm not in the New York real estate, numbers anymore. I'm not really.
But that's changing soon. Because we are developing an office in New York. And matter of fact, we're going to be in New York the first week of April. Right. Me and Anthony, and we'll be meeting with Katrina and some of Louis' people. And then Camille will be meeting with him there over in Brooklyn. So that's coming up soon. But you mentioned in your blog that the population is growing in Dallas. And I think we might have mentioned a couple weeks ago. They said that there's going to be more people in the triangle, Dallas, Austin, Houston, more people living in that area than the entire state of California by the year 2050 or something like that.
Wow.
So that's steady population growth, steady wage growth, which I've read some things, Anthony. I don't know what I don't have the data with me. Maybe someone could pull it up. But I heard that the wage growth, I think it was Patrick at PHP was telling us that wage growth has not gone up like it should, and that people on average are making the same amount of money now that they were making in 1998.
Oh yeah, it's very similar.
Even though the price of housing has gone up exponentially.
It's not just the price of housing. It's how much does it cost? The eggs are more expensive than the cigars.
I think
that is crazy.
Yeah,
think about it. That the price of a cigar, it now costs the price of a premium cigar, handmade just for some eggs.
Yeah, it's insane.
I would trade some cigars for some eggs right now.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I think
maybe we should start up a website like trade egg and cigar trades. How many eggs would you give me for this? Liga number 9.
I wouldn't even doubt it if we turn into a cigar like online shop, e-commerce, Castle Group.
Yeah,
Oh,
cigars.
that would be crazy.
That's actually a good idea.
Imagine that.
Castle Group cigars. I'm not lying. Yeah, like we like we expand Castle Group Mortgage, and then you retire and you just open up Castle Group Cigars.
That would be incredible.
Yeah. But I think one of the biggest things is I think a lot of people don't know I think a lot of people know the underlying reason is population. I think it has always been the population. That's why everything's going up so much. I mean, the more people move into New York, more people move into Texas.
They're not moving to New York. They're moving from New York. That's the problem that we're having here.
Yeah.
But according to Gavin Newsom, I don't know if you saw him on Charlie Kirk.
I don't listen to anything that knucklehead says. But go ahead.
You should watch because Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I saw it.
He's a black belt of conservative, debates. And then you got Gavin Newsom. He's the devil, right? So you got. No, I'm just joking. I mean, he's the far. He
is far.
They're both on the ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right. Absolutely.
But I personally, I could give credit where credit is due, and people find it weird, and it might sound weird, but hey. an amazing speaker, Hitler. Hitler was an amazing speaker.
That is a
He could
very
motivate a whole nation of people in one direction.
yeah.
I could acknowledge the strengths and the weaknesses, right? Obama, another one.
Yeah.
To me, an incredible
Eloquent
swag.
speaker.
He's
Eloquent
crazy.
speaker, cool.
Great speaker.
You know, he'll come in, he'll shoot a free throw or a 3-pointer and dab you, and you know, and like he was so relatable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Clinton too, a great speaker. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just when he speaks, you feel warm. You know,
Mm-hmm.
especially Monica. I mean, no,
John F. Kennedy.
Another one though is Gavin Newsom. He really is smooth talking.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a nice hairdo. He's got the hand movements when he's talking. You know, he's doing all this, and so he's on with Charlie Kirk, and he just seems like the best guy in the world. You know, everything Charlie Kirk's saying, he's like, absolutely, I agree with it. I appreciate that in you, you know, and it was nothing confrontational, but he claims that California's growth, you know, that there's major growth there, that people are moving in there from, you know, in the droves. And Charlie Kirk is like, yeah, from Honduras, Nicaragua, Venezuela, from MS-13, from the Tatuaro gang, you know.
Exactly. Listen, I personally have seen, because I did a lot of work in San Francisco between 2012 and 2017. And I don't want to get into this stuff, but that city has been decimated, just destroyed. So when I hear somebody like Gavin Newsom, you could talk all you want. What he did to that state is just, it's horrific. It's just horrific. He ruined it.
Cities and states, they go through cycles based upon the leadership, political leadership, and how many decades they're in power, right? And we're really seeing Dallas on an upswing, Houston on a major upswing. Austin was a major boom, but now prices are starting to come down a little bit in Austin, you know, but the Dallas market is just like unbelievably hot, on fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
problem Houston, again, it goes back to the inventory. There's not enough new inventory of new homes, right? And even investors are looking at, is it worth to invest in multifamily right now because of the cost of the construction? So the reason why everything's hot is because there's a limited supply. So prices they've been going up. I mean, they're kind of stabilizing. The rent growth is still at 3%. But until inflation cuts down and the costs come down, you know, investors are going to be very leery on putting more. Rents aren't only going to come down when there's more opportunity, right? When there's more of a supply, you know, there's going to be more of a competition to bring the rates lower. So the area is hot, but the inventory is low. And if you know, if you go to, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was done.
No, well, I was going to actually ask, like, okay, what's the next step forward? But I'll let you finish your thought.
No, it's just, it's a waiting game, right? It's just like anything else. It's where do you want to put your money? Do you want to put your money? Yep.
Well, you said like the DFW multifamily market is reaching equilibrium. So what do you think investors?
Yeah, the rents are right. Okay. The rents are, but if you look at from an investor standpoint, really, they once the interest rates start to stabilize or decline, that's when more investors will be re-entering into the market, and that if there's new construction, the new buildings, and new projects going on, that increases competition for rents, right? So if there's more supply, the prices come down. Right now, the demand is high because there's a lot less opportunities. New home sales aren't crazy right now. So I really, and I think we talked about this in our last podcast, our best guess is that interest rates might come down towards the end of the year. So I think we'll see, you know, from an investment standpoint, I think it would be a better investment in a multifamily market probably in 2026 and 2027 than it is this year for new inventory, for new builds.
Okay. But what about the single family home? The rental market, even for the single family home, versus the multifamily.
Well, again, it goes back to construction cost, right? So
Mhm.
if you have, and that's really where our bread and butter is, right? We're looking for a lot of our clients are looking for investment homes,
Mhm.
building new homes to rent out. Again, the issue is cost of materials. The cost of materials have gone up. So I think a
Mhm.
lot of the projects that we're seeing as far as new construction or stuff that's in the pipeline, and for people that have already, or for investors that have already had land for a while, right? If you're going to go out and buy land and build right now, you got to be, there's not a lot of, there's slim pickings right now.
Mhm.
Well, I
Slim
was about to
pickings.
say, what do you think about, like, because we've been coming across this ourselves.
Right.
You're looking. It's not even what you do. It's not what Castle Group does.
Right.
Castle Group, we provide the financing.
Right.
Our client base, you find the deals, and when you find them, you've already been, your loan's ready to go. When you find them. But Anthony's been going the extra mile and even helping investors find the deals. And you're getting a list of deals together for them. And there's so much competition. There's
Yeah.
so many people with money or with down payment and have the financial backing through companies like ours that they're like sharks, right? And that sometimes you'll even have groups of investors going to look at one house, to the point where one of our partners, they don't even allow you to bid, because you'll have like 10 people all trying to buy the same house, trying to bid each other. And then now all of a sudden they're trying to outbid each other. It's no longer a good deal. Now there's no money to be made.
Mhm.
So what they do is they just hand out cards. They shuffle up a deck of cards, they hand out cards, and the price don't go up, but whoever gets the highest card gets to buy the house. And they're
Oh.
doing that so they can still get that deal with the meat on the bones. And you've been sending out some of these, and looking, but you've been finding it's slim pickings. You told me that. You said it's slim pickings.
Yeah. A
Tell us what
lot.
you've been
Well,
experiencing with that.
yeah, that one particular partner that we have, they really cater towards, um, like first time flippers. A lot of their homes are in, are distressed or in lower income areas. There has just an overwhelming amount of competition looking for, you know, buying rental properties, whether it's a single family or if it's multifamily. Yeah, the competition is just fierce. Like I'm looking every day, and I'm talking to agents every day, and I'm looking at what's on the market, and I'm just trying to figure out, okay, is there a little bit of meat on the bone for some of our clients? And it's a fight. I mean, if something opens up, it's gone. I mean, it's honestly, it's gone the same day. Um, Even with
My
this
God.
this other lender, or this other partner of ours that provides those homes to us, they're all off market deals.
I
Um,
have quite a few clients in Houston that went to bid on a house that they liked.
yeah,
They thought about it. Okay, I'm going to ask for this. And they call the realtor. They said, make an offer for this. And they're like, oh, it's gone. We
yeah,
had 4 or 5 offers. We took the
Mhm.
highest one.
yeah. So if there are any investors that are looking for, um, properties in distressed areas, whether it's a rental property or fix and flip, we have a select listing, an off-market listing, in the Dallas area. So if you are looking for that, definitely let us know in the podcast, comment in the sections, send us a note, and we can put you in contact and get some of those deals across your desk. But honestly, I know it sounds like a sales pitch, but like Joey said, this stuff moves. It moves very quickly, very quickly.
Mhm.
That's why the pre-approval process has to be done very, very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, the biggest thing here is in this particular market is just in the urban areas in the downtown Dallas, there's just so much overbuilding that for investors, it's just been leading to slower rent growth. And because the rents are sometimes a little bit higher, their vacancy rates are not where they need to be. There's too many. So if they're vacant, they have to charge more on the rent, right? Because they're looking at
Yeah.
certain amount of revenue per unit, per door.
Mhm.
So a lot of investors are starting to look in secondary markets like Anna, Texas, going north a little bit. But here's the issue. Over the last couple of years, a lot of people were able to work from home. Now that trend is changing and people have to go back to Dallas to start working again, go back to these cities to start working again. So I want to see how that's going to change the market over the next couple of years, because people were moving away from the cities because they were getting a cheaper rent because they didn't have to, travel to the city. So
yeah, I talked to the guys here in our office, like Suite 220, Suite 200, some of the bosses in the different companies here. And they're like, they're all saying enough of this work from home bull crap, right? Trump's saying that. Elon Musk is saying that. Enough of this work from home bull crap. We want everybody in the Department of IRS, Department of Education, the Department of this. We want you back in the office. And fortunately, my wife's, was looking for jobs where she could work from home. Your wife's looking for jobs where she can work from home. I think there's a lot of people, wanting jobs where they can work from home. But now the trend is owners saying, I want to see you in the office, because what happens if you don't see them in the office, and what's happening all over in the government right now, is that people are getting a check from the IRS. They're getting a check from Department of Homeland Security. They're getting a check from the Department of Defense. And they're actually realtors on the side or driving Uber on the side. They're actually working 2-3 jobs because they're able to play hooky enough and pretend that they're working at their primary job. And Elon Musk is saying no more.
Yeah.
You're going to get a check, and we know you're working because we see your butt in the chair, And so now that trend is going back to the old school.
I see. I think that really works for the government, right?
Yes.
That works for the government, and it's supposed to be like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, but Ms. Twa's like that.
Ms. Twa's like that.
Everybody wants to see you in the
yeah.
office.
So, but for jobs, because jobs like that have a lot of benefit, right? But let's say it's like a job from Facebook, right? And their headquarters are nowhere near you. I guess it really applies on what type of job it is, right?
There are still a lot of remote jobs.
Yeah.
And like I said, my wife, that's what she wants. And that's what Anthony's wife wants, And we want them to, because we want them to be close to us, close to the kids, make us lunch. We want them to work from home too. You know what I mean? And there are those jobs out there. We do loans for people that they're buying a house in Houston, but their job is in North Carolina, their job is in San Francisco, their job is in New York. So, we do. We had a closing this morning. Her job was in Nashville or something, but she's here, right? So there is that there, but what we're saying is a trend.
Yeah, it's a trend coming back.
There's a trend of CEOs saying, we want to see you at work. Patrick Bet-David's the same way.
He
wants to see you at the office.
Yeah, I just have a different take on it. I think, like Stanley said, there are some professions where I think that is, it's needed. But I don't know.
I see.
And this is just for me, right? When I was doing software sales, I worked harder. I worked longer hours. And it's all about productivity. I started my day earlier because I didn't have to sit in traffic. I ended my day later because I didn't have to sit in traffic. I was much more productive. I mean, if Joey, let's just say we start growing exponentially, right? Do you want to get a bigger building to house 100 people? Or is it more efficient if they're actually doing their job? If they're not doing their job, you just get rid of them. But why would you want to have that incurred expense of rent, of a of a big building, to pay electricity, to pay, heat and air conditioning and all this stuff? Like our companies, it's more of a hybrid, right? We work some from home, some on the road, some in the office, right? But I don't know. I just think times have changed.
I'm maybe I don't know if I'm old school, or maybe just not new school, whatever. But I like to have a bigger office. Actually, I was thinking about renting out the place next to us that has another 10 offices, because I want to see people in here.
You want to see people in here,
so there could be classes, trainings. Like just sitting together.
Sitting together.
If if Gadir's in the office, I'm not in the office, you're in the office, you guys are sharing ideas, helping share out deals. I want to see that more synergy, but because we're a 1099 environment, you can't force people to be in every day.
Yeah, so I think some companies should have the ability. Government, I feel like that's fine. Like, yeah, you're supposed to be there. It's a government job. But for your case, I think you should be able to, if you want to offer it, you can, for the people that want it, right? Once we recruit more loan officers, there will definitely be people that work a lot better in an office setting rather than work from home. Like Anthony, he can do a work from home setting. You can trust him with that, right?
True, yeah, true. Yeah, and Cecile too. Cecile from my church, she's been working from home with Oracle for 15, 20 years, and she's up, 4:30 in the morning. She has her coffee, she has her prayer time, then she's doing her emails by 6 a.m. And she's very, very productive. But unfortunately, I've been an employer. I've had a couple different companies, and one of them was a restaurant. And if you're not like standing in the restaurant looking at them, they're not doing nothing. Unless you're actually standing and looking at them, then they pick up the mop, then they wash the dishes. The minute you walk out, they're just playing on their phone. So there is a whole generation of people now.
No doubt.
They have to be, they're not self-motivated. Now, being in a 1099 environment is us. People will be self-motivated a bit more, because if they don't hunt, they don't eat, right? But still, some people have asked me. I interviewed one girl. She said, well, how often do I have to be in? And I said, the more that you come to the office, the more you'll learn, the more you'll grow, the more you might just get deals being around the office. People, there's oftentimes there's a CPA downstairs, a realtor on the first floor, a builder on the second floor. I've had a lot of people just walk in and ask for a loan. And if you're not here, you're never going to get those opportunities. And the more that they walk by and see we're not here, the less they're going to come and even check. Right.
And that's why for me, I think working in an office for me actually works for me a lot more, right? Coming in, right? And like you mentioned, there's also in like a work environment, right? You remember when you loved PHP's work environment?
Yes.
Yeah. So somehow, some way, we need to achieve something like that, because these people want to come in. Have you noticed that? They want to come in. Yeah. And they are looking for, we need to build something like that.
That Wolf of Wall Street environment, where they're so excited, they're pumped up.
Exactly. I mean,
they're like PHP,
right?
They're like they're so excited,
right? Exactly. And like stockbrokers, just like Wolf of Wall Street, they're brokers, right?
Yeah.
And we need that broker mindset, not a sales insurance mindset, but that broker mindset, because we're brokers. We're not we're not insurance agents. We're not those. I feel like it demeans the meaning for us. Because what we do is totally different from that, right? Yeah. I understand that we are a sales oriented, but we want to feel like a broker. Like we bring this to the table.
Yeah, we're more of a service.
Yes.
But the sales aspect is helping people understand the benefit of our service, right?
Right.
Yeah, I agree, and I'd like to, so just, and then let's just go into what Anthony was saying. Do I really want bigger offices? More? Yeah, I do. I want more offices, more cubicles, more people in here, more, more hanging out, cooking lunch together, having coffee, going over deals. I like the face-to-face interaction. That's why I'm a pastor too. I never went all in with the YouTube ministry. Now there are, the Christian TikTokers, like if you like to me, John,
it is very
John
big.
3:16. If you like and subscribe, there's those that are very successful with that. I just could never mentally buy into it, because I want to hug the person.
You want to handshake.
I want to, lay my hands and pray for them. I want to, be with them as we're reading the verses of the Bible. I'm old school in that. And maybe I'm being left behind, but there is a trend now of more and more business owners who are in their 50s and 60s wanting people to come back to the office and work.
Yeah. I think it's because another feeling is,
and this is a big thing with the commercial real estate. commercial real estate has hit, office space has had a real difficulty since COVID because people are working from home, the offices are empty, and this caused the values of these beautiful office buildings to tank, especially level C, C and D office buildings. A level is done okay, but level C and level D office buildings have really suffered. And investors have really suffered the last 4 years since the remote work.
I see.
What were you going to say?
Oh, so going back to what you were saying, I think it's also another genuine like relationship thing, right? You want to be able to be genuine with anybody that works with you. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
And really a good hybrid for you. I mean, we've already been doing it, is these podcasts, right? And then these TikTok videos. So we can still have that online presence anyway. Because as you grow, Joseph, you're going to have a whole marketing team. There will be a point where you're going to have a whole marketing team of 3 or 4 people just grinding out TikTok videos, making content, and you'll be doing the genuine work, right? In the office, talking to people, or you can even hire somebody like a manager to do that as well. But yeah, so it's just a evolving business, and what you're doing now is it works.
Yeah,
that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. What do you think, Anthony? Am I too old?
I want to be left alone. Don't bother me.
Well, that's the thing, though. When we build up the Dallas office,
yeah, right.
You're not going to have the luxury to.
Well, I don't mind. It's close by. Like, it's different from. I'm going. First of all, you guys have to understand. I used to live and work in downtown Manhattan, and the drive there was just ridiculous.
Atrocious.
When I was here, I used to have to drive down to downtown Dallas. Opening up an office in Frisco, I would enjoy that. Especially because we can get an office that is just stunning for nothing these days,
beautiful, nice
office,
and they can make coffees.
They can
for you.
in Dallas. Wow.
Yeah, and if I have the key to the office, I can go anytime I want because I start work early. So even at home, like I was working today at 7:30. 7:30, I had my coffee. I was already firing off emails and putting stuff together and getting prepared for our meeting at 8:30. So I just start early. But if I have the key to the office, I don't mind.
Yeah, that's why our hours here we're open 10 to 3:30 because I want to get here after traffic, and I want to leave before traffic.
Right.
But the nature of the mortgage business, this is for anybody listening and for you guys too, is the nature of the mortgage business. Is it used to be if you were in the office, you're not making money.
Right.
It used to be if we're seeing you sitting around here, that means you're not making money. You have to be out in the community, at the libraries, at the realtor shops, at the CPA offices, the divorce attorney offices, at the retirement planners offices. You need to be taking people for lunch, taking people for coffee. That's how you make money. However, now with the digital age, you could literally sit in your basement like Joe Biden. And you can just
100%.
You could just, talk and correspond, and you can post and you can message people, online and answer questions online, respond, do the app online, and close online. So nowadays you could work totally from the office, the basement,
wherever.
But the old school was get out there,
get out and
the
talk.
community. And I'm still from the old school.
That's still the best way of doing it. Yeah,
and Joseph, you get better leads that way too. And I remember,
I get more quality leads.
Yeah, you get way more quality.
In general, my leads, they're like, I'm working with you. They're not trying to shop me around with 5-6 people.
Exactly.
I'm working with you because I built that relationship.
And that's the benefit of being a 1099 mortgage broker here, right? It's your business. If
your business,
if you want to do Facebook ads, if you want to do TikTok, if you want to be have a big online presence, that's your choice to do so. If you want to go to these open houses or even a hybrid, a mix of both, is your choice to do so. So that's a great.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, you're in a 1099 environment. Really, you're the boss. It is your business, and it's how you build your business.
And
so that's why I like to say my partners or our team. I'd say our team more than I say like my employee. Because really, you're not an employee; you're my teammate. We're a team.
Yes. And that's why,
now, from a compliance perspective, my head's on the guillotine. If you forget a disclosure,
right,
or falsify a document, my head's on the guillotine as an employer. but the general operation, we're a team.
Yes, and we definitely need to have like a whole compliance PowerPoint. We should definitely do something like that.
We already did that.
Oh, we already have a
Yeah,
compliance PowerPoint.
we did it. Yeah.
Okay, good,
And Anthony
perfect.
put that
I think
together.
Anthony did it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Joseph is really like, so how PHP works, right? Let's say you're on the level of where I forgot who the branch leader was that for the office.
Well, the total leader was Marcelo.
Marcelo, yeah.
Marcelo,
So
yeah.
Joseph is essentially the Marcelo of
Yeah.
Castle Group Mortgage right now. He's the knowledge, right? And then the second person is me and Anthony, who will help spread that knowledge. That's essentially how this is gonna go, right?
Yeah.
So as we continue to expand, that's the path we're gonna go towards. We're gonna have speakers, right? We're gonna have presentations. We're gonna have people explaining the company compliance and everything, and making sure that everyone's okay. And we do need a system. I think we do need a system as well to make sure everyone's compliant. That's we definitely do.
And that's really where Anthony comes in, and that's where I really said, Anthony, I really want to lean on you to help us build up the systems, the training manuals, all these type of things, these SOPs and all these kind of things, so we can streamline the entire process.
Exactly.
And just be better, more proficient. And actually, it's so we can not. I don't want to handle, and I don't want us to handle, 5 loans a month or 6 loans a month, 9 loans a month. I want to be able to handle 70, 80, 100 loans a month, or more. These guys at UWM, they're just blows my mind that they're locking like they're locking over $1 billion a month in loans.
It's crazy.
So I'm not saying we want to try and get to that level, but hey, I'd be happy if we're submitting 100 loan apps as a team, a month, or 100 loan apps as a team a month means we're doing great. If we got to the point where we're doing, $1 billion or $500 million or $250 million, a month, well, that would be unbelievable.
And
but that would all take SOPs, streamlining systems, all these things.
Yes, and another thing that's really big, and since we have our new renovated websites, we need some web traffic in there. You know what I mean, Joseph? Because there is an application link for all of our loan officers there. And they can.
Is that application link working now? Because Anthony was looking for Gadir's link earlier.
Oh, so
yeah, it's working. Hers is working.
So I need to have Anthony's. Well, we'll talk about that later. Anthony, he sent me the wrong link.
I did. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So we need.
You sent him a link to J&J Fishery. Fried fish, catfish, hush puppies.
That sounds good. I'm kind of hungry. I'm kind of hungry right now. I'm kind of hungry. I actually want some.
That's funny.
Chips, chips and what's it called?
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips right now. But yeah, where was I? But yeah, we need web traffic. We need people to stumble upon our website and just throw an application in there, right? Like we need.
Well, that's why we got to use the podcast. We got to use the podcast.
That's why we got the podcast.
We have to post it.
Yes, we need those TikToks
everywhere, right?
Those TikToks, those YouTube reels, right? I watched a YouTube video, and the biggest part of his leads of how he has a course, online course, and it was just from YouTube. All of his genuine good deals were from YouTube.
Yeah, and Amanat's getting her deals also from social media. And there's several real estate offices I know, even in Houston, that the majority of their deals come from their podcast.
Exactly.
They have a podcast like ours. People calling in from across the country saying, I want to buy in Houston. I hear you guys are in Houston. So we have to kind of, build along those measures.
Yes. And what type of branding are we going for, Joseph? Are we going Wolf of Wall Street brand, like that feeling?
We're going woke.
We're
woke,
going,
baby. He woke. And them and they.
Is that the... Okay, good.
Once you go woke, you go broke. They say.
But are we going like a Wolf of Wall Street type of vibe, environment? Like whenever we do branding, what do you want to feel like?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but it's just
it's just right Anthony? There. It's right over there. Did
you see that, Anthony?
Yeah.
Oh, you missed it.
No, I saw it.
You saw it. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, actually,
We want that environment.
Well, no, I want internally. I want that type of environment.
Yeah.
That get out there and help families, help immigrants, help first-time home buyers, help minorities.
Exactly.
Help people. I want to have that type of sharp,
Just help.
Attitude here in
Got
the
it.
office.
Right.
But externally, we don't want to. We don't want to
look like.
So we don't want to be externally aggressive. Externally, we want to show them our family environment. So it's that family concern. We care about you. But internally, we want to be, sharp as a whip.
Got it. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So that's what I have to say. And, hopefully that picture up there didn't offend anybody. Because I also have the Bible above me. So we're keeping a balance here.
We're keeping balance.
Right? You need money so you could do good in the world. But also what above me says Joshua. Could you read up what it says?
Yeah, Joshua. As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord.
Yeah. Right? So as for me and the company, we shall serve God. And something beautiful, Anthony, this week, Na also is an investor. Na brought 4 homeless people to our church this Sunday.
Wonderful.
And if you go back and you see the podcast, not the podcast, but the live stream from the church, if anybody's interested in seeing that live stream from the church or seeing that, you could just put a message in the box. We can send that to you. But what I told the homeless people is I said, listen, we're a new church. We're not a big church. We don't have therapists and job counselors, and we don't have all the things that you might need, help you get your ID. We don't have the systems. We don't have apartment complexes to put you in. I said, but we do have here is people that genuinely love you. So if you choose to worship here, we can't get you a job. We can't get you a sack of whatever. A bag of rice a week, whatever. I mean, I'll buy lunch. I said we'll have lunch here every Sunday for you guys. But what you will have here is people that will love you, pray for you, walk with you, minister the word of God to you. We'll have lunch. That's what we could promise to you. And in one day, if the church grows and we become big, then we could, have formal systems and programs to help the homeless. But right now we don't have that. But you chose to worship here, even though it's just a small new church, and we do honor that, and we're glad to have you. You're a VIP guest here.
Well, Joey, as that continues to grow, get some information on exactly what these people need. If they need IDs or they need stuff like that, let me know, so I can do some research to see if we can point them in the right direction down there by calling some other organizations. So find out exactly what their needs are, okay?
Okay, yeah, we will do. And
we do in Dallas. And,
I know you've done some of that in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know where to start,
find out what the needs are, and I'll help with that. I'll take that over for you. I'll not take it over, you know what I mean? I'll take that off your plate. I'll work with Na on that. But just let me know, okay?
Gotcha.
Okay. All right.
So tell us what you have done for the homeless there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we actually partner with a ministry down here, an organization called Street Side Showers, and they have a mobile shower unit, and they go to 4 specific locations every Saturday. And so they give an opportunity it's every Saturday except for where there's if the weather's really bad, if it's freezing or if it's a torrential rainstorm, but they're out there every Saturday. And, these people of the homeless community, they're able to take a shower, get cleaned up, but they're also in the same parking lot. There are different teams. So there's a team that goes there to feed. Our team provides water and Gatorade and, diet sodas and things along that line every week. But our team kind of took it to another level. We were getting sleeping bags and pillows and toiletries, and we were just contacting other churches to kind of help and fulfill those needs on a weekly basis. So a lot of people.
So it's not just about making money for your business, huh?
No, absolutely not. No, but
that deserves an applause, in my opinion. That's why we're doing what we do. Even here at Casa Group, that's what we do. What we do, helping out people. Obviously, we don't have the resources yet. I'm new to the city. I don't know who's who or what, and so on. But we're getting there. But you are doing that in Dallas. That's great. What personally, I have been doing some things, and I'm not going to bring it up because I'm not trying to brag, but personally, I've been just giving some money to some people I like. One lady, she's in Africa. Her husband used to cut my grass. He died, left her childless. So I've been sending money to her whenever I can, and a few other things with orphans. But really, as we come into the city longer, and now even with Anthony, we want to expand what we can do because Anthony's been doing stuff like this in Dallas.
Right.
Now God's bringing homeless people to our church, and that's what the company's here for. My this company here, a large portion of what comes into the company, we actually donate. A very large portion we donate. I think last year we gave maybe half of the income to the church, and so, the purpose of our business is really to help people, help lives. Of course, we take something for ourselves, for our family, for our kids, for our savings, but and then try and reinvest into the business what we can. But a large portion of what we have been bringing in, we've been giving to charity. Matter of fact, I just donated $2,000 from our company to stop human trafficking, and we're having that event. Did I talk about it last week?
Yes, you did.
I think I talked about it last week. We're having that event, and I did a blog on that too. Speaking of blogs, I did a blog on that last week. The Sugarland Rotary Club is doing an event with Fort Bend community, with the mayor and the congressman to stop human trafficking and child homelessness. So I donated $2,000 for that, and that event will be the 22nd of March. So we're doing that's nothing. I feel like that's nothing. I feel like we're doing nothing. I feel like we haven't scratched the surface yet, and we're going to be doing more for the community. That's what Casa Group's about.
I heard from a psychologist how to be a good person, and one of the most important things is to be prosperous. Yes, like you must be prosperous in order for you to do good in the first place. And that's what I've noticed with you, Anthony, that you're trying to become prosperous in order to help other people.
Wow.
That's like the number one thing, how to be a good person. You must be good to yourself. You must be able to build not even a business, but be able to, accumulate wealth in a good way, right?
Yeah.
For you to
and even to be good to your children.
Yes.
Right? How could you be good to your children if you can't put food in their belly and a roof over their head?
Exactly.
It's hard to be good to your children. And then outside of your children, that's still selfish. What about your neighbor's children?
Exactly.
Right. And that's where we get to the commands of Jesus, right? To the first two commandments are the most important. He said it fills all of the law in two commandments. Love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself, or love a stranger as yourself. Most people can't love a stranger as themselves. They have, they'll take care of them and their own, but they won't. And there are people who won't even take care of their wife, won't take care of their kids. I mean, there's some real losers out there, right? But taking care of your wife and your kids, that's one thing. That's natural. That's your own flesh, right? But now having compassion for the stranger, empathy, is another human characteristic that we should have. That really we were born with. And you have to be selfish to actually ignore that. It actually means to be very selfish.
Right.
And it's interesting. Americans are the most generous people in the world, they say. I don't know if you heard that, Anthony, but Americans give
Of
more
course. Yes,
than
of course.
any other, people on earth. And some people call us dummies for that. When I was in Canada, they used to tease us. They say, "You stupid Americans, you guys are always, Yeah. And a lot of Americans do get taken advantage of with frauds.
Yeah, we do, and that's shifting now. That's shifting, Joseph. That's actually
USAID. Yeah, USAID.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's shifting now.
But it is shifting. People are waking up, and thank God for a YouTube podcast. Thank God for social media and AI and ChatGPT and all these things that we can kind of get fact check things. And I don't mean like the liberal fact check,
not like Google, where Google, they don't give you the best.
Really, if you really want to fact check something, you got to kind of go to both sources.
Yeah, both sources.
Left
double
and right,
check
because it's so much politicized. They call fact checking has been used as an attack on the conservatives. Oh, we're going to fact check what they
attack
say.
on free speech, yeah.
And an attack on free speech, yeah, So that is actually an abuse. Actually, that was concocted by the CIA. CIA concocted the term conspiracy theory.
Really?
They concocted this whole thing like fact check it to actually do the opposite.
Really?
So they concocted the term conspiracy theory to debunk the conspiracies.
Is this a theory?
Real conspiracy? No, this is fact.
This is fact.
Yeah, you can look it up. The CIA created the term conspiracy theory to debunk true conspiracies. So when there's real conspiracies happening, they said let's discredit it by mocking it and calling it a conspiracy theory.
Oh, I see.
When there's real facts being said, let's discredit it by saying, well, I'm going to fact check it.
Yeah, there's some sensitive topics then. I don't know if you want to talk about that on the stream. There's one. There's like a conspiracy theory of jet fuel. I don't know if you heard about that one.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, 9/11. Yeah.
Oh, the 9/11, or you mean the trails, the chemtrails?
No, 9/11.
Oh, 9/11. I haven't heard that one.
No.
Well, I know the 9/11.
Yeah, that
I don't
one.
want to say conspiracy theory, but I know the 9/11.
Yeah, what really
a lot of scientists and
what really went down.
Professionals, architects, and all kinds of people said it didn't look as it should be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not intelligent enough to make a decision.
Yeah, me neither.
Neither.
I'm not. This is just what I've been getting from YouTube and
but
everything.
I have seen a lot of professionals come out and say that there looked like there was some destruction there. But I can't say I believe in it because I'm just not that educated.
Nope, we don't know. We don't know enough.
I'm not an architect.
We don't know enough. Yeah.
But I personally don't believe any American could do a false flag on their own people like that. I'm not saying it's not possible. I find it hard to believe.
It's hard to believe.
But at the same time, too, I have seen professionals say this was a demolition job. So I don't have an opinion on that. I just like to hear both out, and I would like.
Me too. Yeah.
I would really like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, whatever. I would like for them to start releasing some of these things because I would like to know the truth.
I would like to know the truth too. I like hearing about these things, but I can't make a say. I can't really put my words into it because it's not my field of expertise or anything. What do you think, Anthony? What do you think about that?
I'd rather talk about mortgages.
Yeah, we have to. So I don't like to comment on things I don't know much about.
Right.
But either way. So and how do we even get on that topic?
Conspiracy theory.
Well, how did we get on the conspiracy theory?
Because you said something about the terms conspiracy theory.
Oh, I think it was about fact checking.
Yeah, fact checking. Yeah, it went from fact check to conspiracy theory, conspiracy theory to this. Yeah.
So, but anyways,
it's very funny.
All real talk. All real talk.
Yeah, this is all real talk. It was very funny.
But the main topic was, you said we got to fact check that. What was that we were talking about?
Fact check.
I lost my train of thought now. Because I'm thinking about Alex Jones and the Deep State, and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and the Epstein files. I'm dying to see. But about the Epstein files, I don't know if you saw Andrew Tate, Anthony, on Patrick Bet-David.
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
But he was saying that he don't believe they'll release the full Epstein files because once they look at it and see whose names are really on there,
mortgages will fall. I'm just joking.
I mean, it could affect the whole.
It could affect everything,
the whole economy.
Yeah.
And Andrew Tate made a good point. Even if some of the names on there was just some dude that caught a flight one time. So just some dude might have caught a flight one time from New York to Las Vegas. And just because his name's on the flight log, they're going to throw him in with Bill Gates or somebody who was 17
These were private
times.
flights, though. These were private flights. They weren't flying out
these
American
are private?
Airlines.
But taking a private flight. So there are several people that have taken a private flight with Epstein.
Oh, I see.
Not to his island.
Not to his island.
But from New York to Mar-a-Lago and stuff like that Area.
Oh, I see.
So it was not like to Epstein Island.
Yeah.
But what will happen is that the politicize it and they'll say, look whose name was on a flight log.
Yeah.
And they won't emphasize it
like
was
where
was to the Keys. While somebody who actually was 17 times at Epstein Island. They'll just overlook that and they'll bunch in the other one who was one time hopped the flight from New York to the Keys. Right?
Yeah, right.
So that's what they'll do. We know they'll do that, right?
That's gonna
and
happen.
that's what. And I never thought about that. Andrew Tate was right on that. I don't agree with everything he says, but on a lot of things he is quite brilliant. And he said this is what's going to happen. So they have to judge, is this going to be in the best interest of the world, of the economy, of Wall Street, of the global markets, to let this come out, knowing how they're going to demonize people that maybe had really no affiliation.
Affiliation.
So they're having to think twice and three times about, do they really want to release it for those reasons? And I think that it was a very good point.
So, all it takes is a name. All it takes is a name.
Yeah, but anyways, as Anthony says,
we should talk about let's continue to talk about mortgage.
No, but I think it's really these are very relevant things to us,
it's relevant because it affects the economy.
And I'm not Democrat, everything. I'm not Republican, I'm Christian. I think we got on this whole subject talking about helping the homeless with what we do. And
yes, we did.
To have money and so on.
Yeah, being prosperous.
That's how we got onto that.
Yeah, I'm neutral myself. My political.
I want to be about what is right, not who is right.
Yeah, like right. These political parties do not represent me, right? Yeah, like I am my own thought, right? So,
and I could criticize A or B.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, and I think that
I think everybody's like that.
It's better to have allegiance to principle than it is to a party, because any party can get corrupted. And we see in the Republican Party and Democrat Party there are a lot of corrupt people. I mean, war hawks in the Republican Party that just want war in Ukraine, and there's war hawks in the Democratic Party. Right?
I mean, George Washington distressed it. His group distressed. There weren't supposed to be any political parties in the first place.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
From the very start. Yeah, he said, "Do not do political parties because all it is going to do is going to cause divide."
Interesting. Wow, I'd like to hear some more.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, it's a good topic to read upon.
Yeah. So, but either way, due to the political landscape, especially in New York and California, it is politics and generations and decades of politics that is causing massive flight,
right? And
people moving to Texas, moving to Florida, and I'm thinking we're going to see a little. It's been heavy Florida too. That's why we do mortgages. We do residential owner-occupied mortgages in Florida and Texas, those two states. Why? Because that's where the nation is moving. That's where people are moving.
Exactly.
Right? And of course, we could throw in there Nashville, Tennessee, and a few other places. Like you said, Anthony, you were saying Mississippi, or what were you saying? North Carolina? You mentioned another one 2 weeks ago. You said a lot of people.
North Carolina's hot.
Yeah,
Tennessee,
North Carolina.
Arizona.
Yeah, these are all very hot places, but we really emphasize in Florida and Texas. But we can do loans in Arizona. We can do loans in Tennessee. We can do loans in North Carolina. If they're investment, fix and flip, these type of things.
Right.
But the reason we're positioning ourselves is because decades of bad politics in these states are causing mass migrations into the South, into Texas, into Florida. And we want to serve those communities, help people to fix, flip, invest, rent out, and accomplish their goals. And that's what we're here for. We want to be your partner. We want to be your teammate. We look at ourselves as part of your team. We want to be part of your team and helping you meet your objectives and investing in these areas. Or even if it's moving, your house has been burnt down in California, you want to move to Dallas, you want to move to Austin, you want to move to Houston, you want to move to San Antonio. We're going to make sure you get in at the cheapest possible expenditure rate, cost of transaction and everything.
Great.
What's going on over there? What's those noises I hear?
Oh, you can hear it?
Yeah. What is that?
That's my kids are in the other office with Marquise, and they're having.
Okay.
Class.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're having revival here, brother.
All right.
So, anyways, that's great, man. It's been wonderful. Do you have anything you want to add, Anthony?
I'm good. I am good to go.
Where could they see that blog? Where can people actually?
Tell us.
And read that blog and study some of the things you were discussing today.
I don't know if you could possibly put it in the description. It's for the video when you post the video, but it's castlegroupmortgage.com or castlegroupinvestments.com.
I don't think the
Sorry.
blog is on both sites, is
No,
it?
it's
No,
on
it's going to be on
investments.
separate
Forgive me.
sites. It's on the
Yeah.
investment site.
castlegroupinvestments.com.
Okay, so let me go to the investments. I'll post it into the comments here. Blog. Oh, there we go. Blog. And then is it okay? Dallas multifamily market stabilization.
Yes,
What
sir.
to expect, right?
Hmm.
All right, I'm going to just take that and I'm going to post that right into the comments. And those watching could just go, excuse me, and click that link. There you go.